What's up all my plant lovers? I'm Devin Wallien, and today I want to talk about hardening our plants off in the springtime. If you've been gardening for a while, you've probably heard that term hardening off. So in this video, I'm going to describe what that is and how we actually do it. So on the exterior of plants, on the exterior of the leaves is a layer called the epidermis, and in the epidermis is something called the cutin. Now the cutin is a waxy layer that actually protects the leaves from dehydrating and as well as from sun scald. But the amount of cutin found within the cells of the plant's leaves is directly dependent on the amount of sunlight that the plant has been receiving. So you can imagine a plant that has been grown from seed indoors, or plants that have been grown in greenhouses under the protection of plastic, plants that have been overwintering in a garage, house plants that have been indoors. All of those plants have very low levels of cutin. So when we're getting ready to put them outside in the late spring, early summer, we need to allow them to slowly acclimate to the outdoor settings in order for the cutin layers to increase, which will protect those leaves from that sun scald or from rapid water loss through the leaves. That process is called hardening off our plants. Without hardening off our plants, we're going to send our plants through a lot of shock, unnecessary stress, and generally what will happen is leaves will get sun scald if we just put them directly out into the sun, and then those leaves will eventually die away, and then you're going to have to wait even longer for your plants to reach the full maturity. So by doing the 7 to 10 day hardening off period, you can keep your plants from losing any of that foliage, and then you can allow them to gently go into the outdoor space nice and easily. Now, while sun scald will damage those leaves that are currently present, it's not going to kill your plant. So if you don't harden your plants off, they're not going to die from the roots, but they are going to be set back beyond what you might necessarily want them to be. Now, as I mentioned, this is going to be pertinent to things that have been started as seeds indoors, whether that's tomatoes or cucumbers, plants that you have been overwintering, like agapanthus or our plumerias, plants that have been greenhouse grown that you're ready to transplant, like lantana, petunias, whatever, or houseplants like you can see behind me. So now that we know what hardening off is and why it's important, let's go through days 1 through 10 so that you know exactly what you should be providing them on each of these days. Now we want to start this process of hardening off when our day temperatures are absolutely at least above like 50, 55, and by the end of it, when we're finally leaving our plants outside through the nights should absolutely be above 45 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit as well. So on day 1, I like to put mine in an area that's completely shaded, no direct sun, somewhere that's going to be protected from the wind, no rainfall either, and I'm going to leave it outside for about 2 to 4 days. Here you can see I'm in this covered front patio. This is perfect. I'll put it out maybe 10 a.m. I'll bring it back in at maybe 1 p.m. Day 1, check. Day 2, same location, no direct sun. But this time I will leave it out for maybe 4 to 6, maybe even 7 hours. So I'll put it I'll put it outside in the morning, 10 a.m., bring it back in 4 p.m. That's day 2. Day 3, I'll repeat. Maybe I'll leave it out for another hour, leave it out, put it out at 10 a.m., bring it back in at 6 p.m. All right, so now day 4, I'm gonna give it a little bit of initial sunlight, maybe 1 to 2 hours of morning sunlight. I'm still gonna protect it from the wind, protect it from the rainfall, and I will keep it outside from about 10 a.m. until about 6 p.m. Here you can see I put it just outside my garage door, get some nice morning sunlight, and then by noon, there's no more light, and that's perfect. Day 5, I'm going to do exactly the same as day 4, 1 to 2 hours of morning light, leave it outside 8 hours. If we're starting to get a little bit of rainfall, it's gonna be okay. They can start to handle some more wind as well. Day 6, now I'm gonna push it out even further into the sunlight, maybe give it 3 to 4 hours of sunlight. Can handle a little bit more wind, can handle a little bit more time outside. You can leave it all the way up until maybe 8 p.m. outside. And we're still gonna be cautious about the amount of rainfall that our plants are getting at this point. A little precipitation is okay, but if you're starting to get heavy downpours, just bring it back into your garage or shed or somewhere where it's totally protected from the rain. Now day 7, I'm gonna also give it 3 to 4 hours of more of that sunlight in the morning time, protecting it from the rainfall. More wind is gonna be okay, but this time I'm planning to leave it outside all night long. So now I really wanna make sure that the night's not really gonna get below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Some plants, of course, can handle a little bit lower, some might need a little bit warmer. Just make sure you know what you are hardening off. Day 8, same exact thing as day 7. Leave it outside all day, all night. A few hours of morning sunlight is perfect. Now day 9, we're gonna increase the sunlight even more, maybe even 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, and leave it outside all day long, as well as all night. We're not gonna protect it from any wind. We're not gonna protect it from any rain. They should be just about ready. And then day 10, we're at the final stage. This is when we transplant it or move it to its final destination, whether that's a house plant in the full sun or planting right into the garden, into our hanging baskets, and we're gonna leave them in their permanent location at this point. So now you have a good set schedule on how to do hardening off correctly to ensure you get the best growth from your plants with the least amount of damage possible. If you do have any further questions or comments, make sure you leave them in the comment section below. Anyways, thanks for joining me here on Plant Vibrations. I'll catch you soon. Ciao.